Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. We are looking at the Amazing Spider-Man 263 Facsimile edition featuring the spectacular Spider Kid. So I cannot wait to share it with you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Check out this great Ron Friends cover. This is a facsimile reprint from one of the greatest eras in Spider-Man's history. During his black suit days, I just covered the one that before this that said next the spectacular Spider Kid, and I didn't know they were going to reprint this right away, so I'm so happy that we're able to follow it up. This is just like such a great like classic Spider-Man story. So this kid who was like obsessed. Okay, so Stan Lee presents Tom DeFalco writer, Ron Friends penciler, Brett Reading and John Beatty inkers, Joe Rosen letterer, Bob Sharon colorist, Danny Fingerth editor, and Jim Shooter editor-in-chief. So when did this originally... I mean, this is definitely 1985, arguably the greatest year in comics, especially at Marvel. Ron Friends is like one of the greatest classic comic book artists. I always found him, like, I would never pick up a book for Ron Friends, but I always found his art just fine. And he's very much the classic, you know, Marvel house style in a lot of ways. So we open with this spectacular Spider Kid who's hilarious. I love that he's like this chubby kid with glasses, total nerd. He has the Doc Ock arms that we find out are modified. Well, actually, they're not spider arms, but he was obsessed with Spider-Man's villains and particularly worshiping Doc Ock. Made his own set of working tentacles, and then I think Spider-Man, he saved him and convinced him to be on the side of the good guys. So now he's out fighting crime as Spider-Kid, and I think it's hilarious. Notice, like, very much a sign of the times. Like, this is pre-image, like, every page is a money shot and a splash page with the cinematic widescreen angles. You're getting more, like, traditional 6 to 9 panel grids of classic comic book storytelling. And I just love the tropes, you know what I mean? Like, an older couple getting mugged in an alley, and so he's coming to save them, you know, and he doesn't have powers or anything, so what the heck is he thinking? I mean, he's going up against this gang, and, you know, the cops really don't know what to make of him, and he gets his escape. And then we get some, you know, I love these facsimile editions because it's like a glimpse, like a time machine. It's like you're going back to, and you sort of immediately know the era, whether you were there or not, which I was, but, you know, his relationship with the black cat, and I kind of like how he kind of offends her, and she takes off or whatever. Spider-Man can be rude in a lot of ways sometimes, don't you think? And this whole crazy story, so, Liz Osborne is in the hospital. She was attacked by the Hobgoblin and like almost went into false labor and all this crazy stuff. And so Spider-Man's feeling like kind of guilty about it. I kind of like this slice of life aspect of Spider-Man. Like I said, this is the greatest era. I love like when he would come home from like swinging around the city and like wash his uniform in the sink. I mean, I don't know why, that just humanizes him in a lot of ways, right? Rocket Raccoon, Mike Mignola's big Marvel debut, like so cool, right? Or actually, I mean, I think he was on Hulk before then, but one of his big main things from Marvel. So it's funny because, you know, like we have Peter a little older now, so the Spider Kid sort of acts as sort of like a fill-in for what Peter went through, like the reason we love Peter, you know, you know, being picked on by the bullies and stuff like that, and, you know, his crush is actually coming to his defense. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And anyway, she's like, you're a jerk, I'm not gonna date a bully, whatever. And I kind of like that. Boy, they had a limited color palette, and this book is showing that so much. Like this purple magenta that Bob Sharon can't get enough of. It goes from his bathrobe to his jeans. I mean, Peter, you need a stylist, for God's sake. Speaking of a stylist, I've always been so bothered by the Osborne hairdo. Like, it's marceled hair. Like, you know how they're marceled potato chips? Like, what is that? Like, it's white cornrows. Like, ew. Like, and I wish they would have, like, thrown it in a movie so we could see what it looks like in real life. Gotta point out that I love Brett Breeding's inking. He's always using like a bunch of screen tones and different textures and really stands out to me. So I always notice his inks. And see what I mean? This purple, like magenta color is like will not quit throughout this entire issue. It's crazy. So, and I love these like story beats. You know what I mean? Like, this is why Spider-Man's like the most fun. Like, it doesn't always have to be epic, but just like the little nuances of the story. Like, he forgets that he didn't hang his costume out to dry, so it's wet. So he has to wear the black one that he's not really wearing that much anymore. And Spider-Kid contacts him by using a makeshift spider signal as a fill-in for the bat signal. And he's like, somebody's been reading too many comic books. I love that kind of like self-awareness or like sort of meta humor running throughout. There's that crazy purple again, which low-key magenta is one of my favorite colors, but I think it's kind of funny anyway. The other kind of funny aspect is Peter's like comforting Osborne and being like, oh my gosh, you know, sorry, the hobgoblin, blah, blah, blah. And never acknowledging the fact that, like, it's all his fault. Like, they would not be a target of the hobgoblin without Spider-Man. So, you know, it sort of brings up that age-old thing, you know, like, does Batman exist without the Joker and vice versa and blah, 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 blah. So, the problem is almost as bad as the prevention in this case, I feel, or something like that. I don't know. I've been loving these facsimile editions. You know, people complain about the price, and it is expensive, but it's fun. You know, they're the same price as a normal comics coming out, and I didn't get this when it first came out, so I'm happy to pick it up. It's just as good as not better than any new comic being published. So it's on better, fun paper. It doesn't have to be, but it is what it is. You don't have to buy them, right? This purple will not quit, this magenta. And the next, I hope they're facsimiling this too, because apparently the first appearance of Silver Sable follows this up. And I love Silver Sable. So let's be looking for that, y'all. Do you love them, the facsimile editions? I do. They're so amazing. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.